Off the Cuff is brought to you by the Institute of Caribbean Studies, ICS, under the umbrella of the Faculty of Humanities and Education at the University of the West Indies, Mona. You can find us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify or wherever you can catch us. Welcome to Off the Cuff, where we kick it with our guests naturally. This week, I chat with Runkus regarding his new album, SUPERNOVA, and his creative process. All right, let's get into it. Runkus, so your album is slated to drop on May 1st, which by the time this podcast comes out, it would have already been out in the universe. What was the inspiration behind the title SUPERNOVA? And there's a reason why I'm asking. I'm a fashion designer and I named my collection, my previous collection, SUPERNOVA. So yes, I did.
Well, I know you're interviewing me, but let me ask you, why did you name yours?
All right. SUPERNOVA? So I named it SUPERNOVA because I understand that a supernova is formed usually when a star dies. There's a large explosion that comes thereafter. And so the reason why I named my collection that is that I feel like maybe I experienced like a death in fashion when there was like maybe like 4 or 5 years I wasn't designing. Mm-hmm. And then there was like a rebirth and I came back to it. So that's the reason why I named that collection SUPERNOVA.
Well, we're kindred spirits because the reality of why, first of all, SUPERNOVA is the same translation in all languages.
Okay.
There's no translation for it in any language. It's SUPERNOVA all across. It's such a thing that everyone, if you know what it is, you know what it is. You know it's the explosion of a star. What a lot of people don't tell you is that when a star explodes, it turns into something else. All of those molecular structures, the atoms, the atomic structure of the star itself becomes planets, space cloud becomes asteroids, become you and I. Mm-hmm. We're made up of star stuff. if you believe so, you know, man. So because all of the elements that exist in life right now has always been here since the dawn of time, it's not necessarily like a newborn baby is not a newborn baby. Mm-hmm. He just doesn't know his historical heritage from a cellular level.
Yes.
So that being said, everyone wants to be a star, and I felt like, you know, I needed to create something new. So to create something new, you have to destroy something old. Hence SUPERNOVA.
Hence SUPERNOVA. That's pretty brilliant. So from one artist to another, I love that.
Big respect. And also because it's a collaboration with another artist, a visual artist, a multidisciplinary artist called Tavares Strand from Bahamas. We actually had he had an exhibition that I scored and also performed in at the opening in Kunsthalle Mannheim in Germany. And it was it was exactly what the word new represents in this new birth, because our rebirth, because I wanted, in the new approach of how I wanted to do music, I wanted to approach music as art and do more artistic ventures within myself and test my boundaries of what I can and can't do, which we can do everything.
Mm-hmm. You know, I really enjoy the fact that you said that you wanted to try something new and to test your boundaries. And I think that that's really inspirational for our listeners, especially, you know, persons who are young or coming up and maybe they want to get into the creative and cultural industry, particularly into music, and maybe they might have some doubts within themselves, but you're showing them the possibilities beyond that. You can have a moment where maybe you're not creating, or you want to create something new, or you want to change, and you want to have a different sound, and you're able to do just that.
Yeah, well, that's your vision. How far you go is really only determined by how far you can see.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I love that you mentioned that. That's part of the reason why we wanted to do this podcast. We wanted to be able to give persons who were maybe high schoolers or even persons who are in the creative industry the opportunity to see what's before them is possible, right? If you can't see it, then how can you know that you can dream it?
Of course. When I was as a youth, as a Rasta youth from Portmore, Jamaica, you don't expect to perform in museum at a gallery opening in Kunsthalle Mannheim with your music. You don't expect to do none of them things there. You don't expect, you know, like, you don't even expect to do half of the things I did before all of that. So the mere fact that you make a sound from your spirit and from your creativity and your talents, that your God-given talents, and people respond to it and people like it and people, you know, um resonate with it, that already is just something where I'm so very grateful for. Because um accolades aside and everything that I've done and everything that I've accomplished, the greatest thing I've ever done is just keep doing and being brave.
Well, I have to say that your music actually is super inspiring. You know, I fell in love with your music. I was
Mhm.
watching your music videos, which is why I was speaking to you having the it factor. You have all of the things. You have music, stage presence. You have charisma and your energy and your vibes. All of that is all things that are, I think, welcoming and making someone want to be interested in you, not just in your sound, but you as a person. Which actually brings me to one of those other questions that I have for you: life over death. I was
Yeah.
really curious about that track. It actually reminded me of um, Biggie Small's album, where he had an album that was Life After Death.
Hmm.
And the thing of Life After Death is that it's almost like he spoke prophetically
Yeah.
into what would happen for his future. And one of the things that you were speaking into the song is speaking life over death. And I really enjoyed that you were speaking life and love into you and yourself. So I was just curious as to how you came up with the title, Life Over Death.
Oh, the title. Interesting. I don't recall. I'm gonna tell you the way where I wrote that song,
Okay.
and then I'll tell you. So I was making music one morning, day afternoon, whatever. I did this thing where I I over make music. Like I make a lot of music. So like I'll make like 5 beats
Mm-hmm.
in an hour or two or whatever. Like I'll just make and make and make and then pause and then go back to it, or make a loop or make a whatever. I'll just make stuff. I'll make a score. I don't even know what I'm doing half the time. I just let the Almighty in the room. Um, Fast forward, I I had this feeling of like of nostalgia. So the record that I've done, one of the main themes in it is nostalgia. Hence why the song feels so familiar to you, because I,
Mm-hmm.
instead of just making now, because I used to just make from my creativity, but now I'm making with what would you say, protocols or standards, or just prior information that works,
Sure.
you
Mm-hmm.
know. So references that work. So I was just making a beat, and the thing with me is that half of the time when I is either the song comes and then the beat, or the beat comes and then it takes long for me to find the song, or both of them come at the same time. So I wrote that song in like 15 minutes. It was really quick.
Really?
The beat was like 15 minutes, and then the song was 15 minutes, because I was making both of them at the same time. So while I'm making, hence why build the rhythm and the lyrics same day, same time.
Mm-hmm.
So because I try to sing about my life.
Yes.
So all them are trying, them can't kill me yet. Still a short life over death is a real life scenario of people trying to I guess hurt me, if you may, like physically,
Mm-hmm.
mentally, spiritually, emotionally, like whatever. It was a dark time, and it's like for me, I just brought it to the Almighty. I never retaliated in a negative way, and hence why all them I try, them can't kill me yet. I'm still a short life over that, because I'm still here, and the works that I do will always live on. That being said, I do a strange thing when I make music, when I make albums specifically, like world building. I write the titles first, and then either I make the song or God gives me the song later on.
Okay.
Yeah, so like I wrote down. So I knew when I knew the album was called Supernova, I wrote down Supernova. Then
Okay.
I wrote down Every Ghetto Youth is a Star.
Mm-hmm.
I wrote down that title. I wrote down Moonwalker, which didn't make the album, but I have a song called Moonwalker.
Okay.
I wrote down a song called Meet Me at the Sun, which didn't make the album, but I have a song called Meet Me at the Sun,
Mm-hmm.
because Supernova.
Right.
I wrote a song called, I mean, the list goes on, but the
Mm-hmm.
point is, life over death
Mm-hmm.
also has to do with supernova, as
Supernova.
explosion
Yes,
of a star,
that's true.
death of a star, but bringing new life.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sadly, I guess sadly, but gladly, a concept artist. I
Mm-hmm.
love conceptual themes. in music. My first album was called Moving. My
Okay.
second one was called Inside. The third one was called Outside. And
Mm-hmm.
I completed the trilogy, and now I'm on to a different trilogy.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So do you know what the other two albums are
Yes.
going to be for Supernova? But is that going to be lock and key or you can reveal it?
Well, mega lock and key
Okay.
for now. Because it might change.
Okay,
I
that's
have to
true.
leave room for the Almighty to like change it if if
Mm-hmm.
life want to change it. So but just know, like I made if we have time, give me 1 second. Let me just
Sure.
check my phone. I made Yeah. So I made 170 rhythms or options for this record, and I made 171 song
Wow.
options for this rhythm.
Wow.
So
That
for
is a
for this
lot.
record, sorry. Um so I have enough material for 5 albums if
You
I
have
want.
everything if you want to produce and just put
Yeah.
out. Hmm. You know what? So speaking of that, actually, in terms of like putting out, and I know that the way that people consume music today is very much on an instant gratification type of feeling, and they're consistently wanting new music, new sound. How do you feel about the use of AI in music? Like, how does that impact your feelings towards it?
Well, like anything else, it's a tool,
Okay.
and there are a lot of negative connotations towards AI, and there's a lot of positive connotations towards it. Haile Selassie has a quote that says, "Man has to." I'm paraphrasing. He says, man's scientific development needs to be balanced with his spiritual development, and until the two meet, then we're gonna have chaos, basically.
Okay.
Because what happens is that we're getting quote unquote smarter and more technologically advanced, but we're getting dumber
Mm-hmm.
and lazier,
Mm-hmm.
and our spirits are being less fed. So, in my opinion, sorry, tangent real quick. There's a tribe called the Dogon tribe. You ever heard of them?
No, tell me about
The
them.
Dogon tribe is a ancient civilization from Africa that they people researchers, scientists went to this, or archaeologists went to them, study their culture, and they told them where they asked them where they came from. They told them they came from a star in the sky called Sirius B.
Okay.
Seeing? They told him a little star, and they pointed to the star. And the the people said, "Well, there's one star there," and they're saying, "No, there's two stars. There's a smaller one that you can't see." They told him that. Years later, when mankind developed the telescope and could look with a telescope that far, they realized that the people were right, and there's a large star called Sirius A. There's a smaller star, a dwarf star called Sirius B. Now, how did that barefoot people that don't have a telescope, that don't have quote unquote technology, how did they know that?
Mm-hmm.
So it's either it's true, or they have some form of spiritual inclination towards the celestial, right? Which I know, and maybe people forgot, but I know, which we should all know and remember, that before all of these things that we're using, internet, Wi-Fi, all these things, we could navigate the globe through
Absolutely.
just the use of the earth, and like universal law, and just like not just nature, right?
Mm-hmm.
So just to go back to your question
Mm-hmm.
about the involvement of AI in just, I mean, my field, and just the field overall, and everyone's field, until we can balance both of those side, the spiritual side and the scientific side, which for me, I think science explains spirit. I don't think they're like mutually exclusive,
Okay.
right? I think the love of God keeps us tethered to the earth, and we call it gravity.
Oh, that's really beautiful. I
You know
love
what I
that.
mean? So, I mean, it might
Okay.
sound like, like overly poetic, but that's just my brain and my life, and
Mm-hmm.
like that's how I look at life. And I don't think they're mutually exclusive. I don't think science proves God doesn't exist. I think
Mm-hmm.
science proves
That
God
God
exists.
exists.
I think God is a
Exactly.
scientist,
Mm-hmm.
the greatest scientist.
The
So,
greatest
so
scientists
I
ever.
use AI in whichever ways I can use AI. I'm gonna burn out AI in whichever way I can burn out AI, because like lava. You see me?
Mm-hmm. That makes sense. The two need to coexist and they need each other. Hmm. Okay, so you know what? I'm actually interested in the song where you that's titled "Every Ghetto Youth is a Star." So in that song, the things that you were speaking to that I really enjoyed because I do understand that persons can absolutely be influenced by music. I love that you were letting the youth know that they should make their earnings count. And you were giving examples as to what to do. You literally gave them a blueprint. You know, for instance, when you spoke to buying a house in the hills and buying a house for your mom and then owning the hills, like all of those things make so much sense to me. What made you want to create a song that actually speaks to when you make it big and you make these earnings or any amount of monies that you have? Like, you know, you don't necessarily need to purchase things that are have depreciating value. You were speaking to purchasing assets, things that can keep you grounded for generations. What made you come up with this type of theme?
Well, I don't know if I came up with it or I was inspired by just my whole life. Maybe, like, I think I look at songs as like, I didn't write it in that moment. I've just been writing it my whole life.
Okay.
You know, like a lot of things happen to me that will make me be able to say that way.
Hmm.
Right. So, Every Ghetto Youth is a Star is a title I had a couple years back.
Okay.
I made a song called Every Ghetto Youth is a Star, just a little snippet kind of vibe, and I didn't use it. Right. Excuse me. So I didn't use it, but I knew I was going to use it eventually. Fast forward, my little brother who goes to UE,
Okay.
yeah, Prodigy, he made that beat.
Hmm.
I wrote down the title and I was like, this needs to be a song. When my brother sent me the beat, the first thing I said was, them get you some money and I know where them go do. I kept repeating. I was like,
Mm,
all right, yeah, this is a song.
this is
And
it.
I started to write it, and the horn phrase that says every ghetto is a star. Every ghetto youth is a star.
Hmm.
Okay, where you that the part.
Hmm.
I was once again, my whole life, I've never really focused on songwriting the way that I have this time. So I was like, okay, I'm lyrical. I have a lot of things to say. What is something that is inclusive of people? What is something that I can put the mic to the crowd and people say, what is something that you want to sing for yourself?
Hmm.
Which I came up with the line, the melody piece, and the Every Get Is a Star, chop the sample, put it in. So it's a collaboration between my brother and I, but he built the majority of the beat.
Okay.
In the midst of making the song, once again, I was just thinking about how to spend wisely, how to earn wisely, and how to just not sell out for um material gain, you know?
Hmm.
You know, it's not, well, can't even say it's not because a lot of people do it, meaning a lot of people are willing to gain the world and lose their soul. I'm not necessarily willing to do that.
Which is true. So that's good that you're not in that realm, but you're also giving persons a blueprint. You know, I'm curious. Maybe you already have, well, you said you have lots of songs. Do you have any songs that speak to love that give young men a blueprint in terms of like how to treat a lady? I'm only curious because I
Yeah.
had I had male friends who were in their 30s and they were saying like a lot of the music today that they listen to doesn't often speak to that as to how to treat a woman. So sometimes he said that they really just don't know.
Well, yeah, but yeah, the answer is yes. There's no
Okay.
but. It's just people are vibrating on a frequency, and what they like is what they like right now.
That's
But
true.
love is ultimate and stronger than fear. So, because it's not hate, you know. Hate is not the opposite of love. It's fear. It's fear make you do love. It's fear make a man don't treat a woman right. It's
Mhm.
not necessarily like, you know, it's fear of even loving him own herself in the right way. So,
Amen.
you know, like for me, yes, I do have those songs,
Okay.
and those songs are on the record. And I also have songs, and I don't speak about people. I try to
Yes.
speak about myself.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like the first money me get, like
Mhm.
I speak in a way where is I'm judging myself
Correct. Okay.
because you know.
Mhm. Okay, I do have one more question. This is for song 3310.
Yeah.
I love the rhythm. It's such a vibe. That's actually the first song that played for me
Hey,
on my way coming into UE today when I was
hey.
able to like experience your album prior to the drop. So tell me about 3310.
Um, well, I'll tell you that it was one of the most out there songs that I did like in terms of production and everything, because we weren't even gonna put it on the record, but it's just such a fun tune, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was produced by myself, my little brother again, Prodigy,
Okay.
and this guy called Chopsticks
Mm-hmm.
from Lagos, Nigeria.
Okay.
He produced The Last Last by Burna Boy.
Okay. Yes, I love that song.
Yeah. So the three of us produced that song, and it was an honor to work with. It's an honor to work with my little brother. Like, I'm so inspired by him, and it's an honor to work with Chopsticks as usual. That song is a song I actually had a couple years now. Like, not necessarily that iteration of it, but I wrote those lyrics like, I want to say COVID times, so like
Okay.
5 years ago, 4 years ago. So, and the intention was I like to take a inanimate object or such a simple topic and like make a big statement about it. Like 3310 is like a Nokia 33. Like, why write a song about that? But that's like a Jamaican thing though. To, like, young girl, wear your size. It's like,
Yes.
people think he might talk about slippers, but like, nah. Like, that's a deep song. Murder She Wrote is a deep song. But it's just fun, right? Everybody's dancing in the party, not like
until they listen to the lyrics.
No, this is some real thing the man I talk about.
Yeah.
Like, you'll probably cry if you actually know what he's talking about.
Yes.
Sister Nancy Bam Bam, like, it's it's like, it's actually, that's an empowerment woman, tune to women. You see me? Like, she's saying she like she's a lady, she's not a man, she come for nice up his session, so the reason why I'm saying all of these things is someone has to do it. Someone has to keep the culture alive of that kind of art and songwriting. Like, we need to write a song about brooms, because Jamaica makes, like, Rasta specifically make cultural brooms.
Okay.
And then, like, but make it simple, but make it deep. But make it simple, but make it deep. It's like, that's our culture. That's what our culture is. Bob Marley did it. A lot of us do it. So,
okay.
Are the youths doing it still? Maybe not. So that was my intention behind writing 3310, and specifically, the scamming culture is rampant in Jamaica. So I was flipping that concept and telling people, use the banger phone, call on the Almighty.
That's fly, actually.
Yeah. So like, if you bang the line for the Almighty.
Yeah, speak to the Lord.
Yeah, speak to the Lord. So I think I'm clever, so I did that. I guess.
I can say this from your music titles and just speaking with you, I know that you're a student of the music, and it's I can see your cultural inspirations, and I can see where you were drawing from many different forms of inspiration.
Thank you.
Okay, well, that concludes our off the cuff session, and thank you, Runkus.
Oh, give thanks, man. Give thanks every time. It's off the cuff. You already know. Rasta rough every time.
Hey, I love the drop.
Yeah.
Now concludes this episode of Off the Cuff. Cuff the culture and cut the blueprints. Off the Cuff is brought to you by the Institute of Caribbean Studies, ICS, under the umbrella of the Faculty of Humanities and Education at the University of the West Indies, Mona. You can find us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, or wherever you can catch us.